Hey everyone, welcome back to Homegrown Passion. So in today's video, I'm going to be harvesting some microgreens. I'm going to be seeding some herbs for us to use since Doug likes to cook so much. And we want to get it back into some beets. And I've grown them before in the NFT channels. They don't look as pretty as the ones grown outside, but I'm going to seed some beets. And my spinach that I did in the fall is starting to bolt, so I'm going to seed some more spinach. And we also have a bunch of other things you got to do here in the greenhouse. There's always work to do with the cucumbers and the tomatoes and washing channels. So stay tuned. So here are the microgreens that we seeded 10 days ago. These are the pea shoots, and of course they always grow a little bit faster, so I'm going to harvest them today for us. And then over here I have the broccoli, and I made a mistake here. I did a little bit too heavy seeding there, so I don't have very good germination, but the rest of the channel looks pretty good. These will probably be ready in another 3 to 4 days, because based on the package, both types of these seeds take 10 to 15 days depending on the season. So these ones will probably be 15, and here these are ready at 10. So I'm going to go ahead and start harvesting these. Oh, before I do that, got a lot of questions about mold and mildew and different root pathogens with these guys. As long as you have sufficient airflow, nothing happens to the roots. Because you can see here how beautiful these roots are. And here, let me lift this up. And look at that. Isn't that cool? Look at all those neat white roots. So the reason I like to grow my microgreens in the NFT channels, the main reason is I don't have to worry about watering them. Because I do have my emitter here on the end, and it just drips all day long. Because if I grow them in 10-20 trays, you have to remember to bottom water them. Which, speaking of that, I am doing a video showing step-by-step procedure of how to grow microgreens in your kitchen with the 10-20 trays, and how you can have healthy microgreens all year round. So look for the video on the microgreens in the 10-20 trays in about a week or so. So the way I harvest my microgreens in the NFT channels is, first of all, pull them out of the channel, and I have this cart that's a little bit lower than the one I use every day, and I can cut the greens right over the bin I'm harvesting them in, because I'm a messy harvester and the leaves go all over the place. Now, I don't cut them all the way down because I don't like all the stems, but some people do. These guys are just the perfect size. So I just go through with my sanitized scissors and get them here into the bin. And what's nice about the hydroponic microgreens, you don't have to worry about E. coli and all the other stuff that could be in the soils. I'm going to go ahead and harvest this whole tray, even though it's just for Doug and I. Because if you package these right away and get them in the cooler, they'll last up to 2 weeks. Another nice thing about being hydroponic like this, no sprays or anything on them, I don't have to wash them and they don't get bruised, and that's another reason why they last so long in the fridge. So it took me about 2 minutes to harvest this whole tray, and I noticed I missed some on the way down, so as I push the tray back into the place here of the channel, I'm going to go ahead and get the ones I missed. You can let these guys grow back. I've done it before. For me, I don't think the crop is as good, but you can do it, definitely do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take these guys in and weigh it and see how much I got off of this one tray. Nice sweet pea flavor, not overwhelming, but crisp and fresh enough. It's going to be really good on sandwiches. So I have the pea shoots here, ready to bag them up in my processing area. So I just put them in my little bags, handfuls of them. Try not to damage them too much. Like I said, they last so much longer. And I use twist ties on them just to keep them a little fresher. So let me get these guys all bagged up and put them in the cooler. So I was pretty close on my estimate of how much I got here. I estimated about a pound. I weighed it out for exact measurement. It was 15.3 ounces, so almost a pound. So some of the other things that we do with the pea shoots, like I mentioned before, we put them on sandwiches. I also like to put them on top of my salads or make a salad out of just the shoots themselves with a nice light dressing. A lot of times we'll make a pasta with a white sauce and use it as a garnish, but not just a little bit. We put a big handful on top of it. And I've put it on top of pizzas, and they're really a versatile product. I don't really cook with them because they just kind of liquefy and turn into nothing, and you don't get the good sweet pea flavor that they have. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're growing them. Okay, so I'm back at it today, different day. Yesterday when we were working out here and I was doing some filming, Doug decided that we should move the hay feeder because it was really muddy out there in the cow pasture, so I went out and helped him open and close the gates and get it out of there, and it's been mud pie here. Luckily today it went down to 12 last night and everything's frozen again, so I feel better for the cattle. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to get some herbs going and some other things for the family. So I have some leeks I'm going to do, some tarragon, some sage, parsley. I use the Italian parsley, and then thyme, and I'm going to do some beets. Like I said before, beets, they don't grow really well in the NFT channels, but they grow good enough for us to use them here at the family. So the first thing I do is I take my Oasis cubes, and I don't want to use a whole cube because this is just for us. So for me, I like to just break off a couple rows at a time. And this way when the seeds germinate, because these guys are all going to germinate at different times and be ready to go into the channels, it's just a lot easier just to pick up a section and take it. So I am going to do 2 rows for each one of these. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take these out in the greenhouse, get them saturated and ready for seeding, and then my little buddy here is going to help me do some seeding with the bigger seeds, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm back, got these guys all saturated. You can tell they're all nice and dark, and you can tell they're really waterlogged because the tray's nice and heavy. So the first thing I like to do is write out my little tags here, because I'll never remember what order I planted these guys in, and you know, when they come up and they're little, you can never tell what they are. So at today's date, I'll put that on there, 31st, and these are going to be the one for the beets. So I got all my tags done here. First one I'm going to do is the parsley, the Giant of Italy. These seeds, last time I did them, I got pelleted ones. This time for some reason I didn't, so I'm going to have to use my little seeder here. Don't want to put too many in each hole. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of put these in here. The next one we're going to seed here is Boro. It's a round red beet. I have a little bit bigger seed, so my little buddy helper here can help me get them into the holes. Okay. We have all of our seeds in here for the different herbs and beets and leeks. So I'm going to go cover these up, put them out in the greenhouse, because right now the greenhouse is way warmer than the control tunnel where I usually germinate everything, because we have the temperature a little bit higher to get the tomatoes and cucumbers going. So I'll put the humidity dome on them, and then I have a couple other things to seed, so I'll walk you through those steps next. Well, with the greenhouse being so warm, and it's wonderful for the tomatoes and cucumbers, but not so wonderful for the spinach, it started bolting on me, so I'm going to go ahead and reseed some more spinach here before it gets too far gone, so I can keep the crop going this winter. And I think you guys remember how I did it. If not, I'm going to go walk you through it. So these are the components that you need. You need your seeds, you need a couple paper plates, paper towels, water, and a little hydrogen peroxide. And the reason for this is that the spinach seeds are tough to germinate because they have such a hard shell. So what you want to do is soak them for at least 24 to 36 hours, and this way they will crack and they can start germinating for you. And it's a little process to do this, but it's well worth it in the end, because you'll have seeds that go into your Oasis cubes that are not going to be a waste of the cube, because you know what ones are going to germinate, because the little radicle will come out. So we'll show you how that goes in the next couple of videos, but this is just the start of it. So my little helper here is going to help me. So this is the water with some hydrogen peroxide, probably about a teaspoon or so in there. And you wet down your paper towel. I usually like to put a couple down. Then we're going to take some of these seeds here, and we're going to spread them evenly over the paper plate there. So go ahead and take a couple of those and spread them over that. Yeah, here. So once we get these all spread around in here, I'm going to take another paper towel, put it on top, saturate it, and then lift up the corners, because if you leave them hanging over the edge, all the water drains off and everything gets dry on you. So you want to make sure they stay moist, and then check them after 24 to 36 hours. The ones with the radical, the little tiny root coming out, pick them up with tweezers and put them in your wet Oasis cubes, and they're ready to go. One thing I forgot to tell you is cover them up to keep the moisture in there. So go ahead and put the cover on there. There we go. We're all set. Well, like I said before, today is January 31st, so it's time to start thinking about the summer markets, and I want to get my bell peppers started. And I used rapid rooters to get those started. Want to grab one out for me? And like with the tomato seeds, yeah, go ahead, put one in. The tomato seeds, they work really well getting the bell peppers going. And so these bell peppers, once they're germinated and about that big, I'm going to put them into the beetle buckets in the greenhouse that I have the San Marzanos in right now. So I'll pull those out, get these bell peppers in there, and I'll be ready for my summer market. Wanted to show you guys this really funky, weird tomato plant. Never had one like this in all the years we've been doing it. All the leaves are like scrunched up, curled up. Doesn't have any bugs on it. It's getting all the same nutrients as all the other plants. There's no fungus on it. Can't figure out what's going on with it, so I may have to talk to Crop King. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I do have some replacements. I always start extra ones when I do my tomatoes. So I'm going to pull him out and put a replacement in there because he's not getting any flowers or anything on him compared to the other ones where I have a lot of tomatoes, so not worth wasting the energy on them. Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. Thought I'd show you really quick here some flowers on the beans here. Start to get going. So like always, leave me any questions, comments, or suggestions down below, and we'll see you guys next video.